Hello everybody, it's me Caleb, welcome back. So let's get right into what I'm doing this week. I'm sure you could figure out from the time lapses exactly what I'm doing this week, but let's show you the progress that's been made. So here is the main big chunk trim piece that I've been working on this week, along with like the side pieces, which are these like rounded noodles, as I'm going to call them. That's not really what they're called, but so this is the trim piece that goes against the stone. This goes right in the dead center of the window, and this would be the bottom. This is that block I was working on last week with the wood filler and everything, all primed up twice actually on both sides. All these pieces of wood I've primed twice because I just want to make sure that they're completely filled in with all kinds of paint and stuff to make sure that we don't get any rotten spots later or any moisture problems. This block though, and I'm going to show you a photo of this, what this looked like before right now. This block was really, really messed up. In fact, most of this block is wood filler. Entire chunks were missing from here over, so these completely, these two guys here, are completely epoxy. There's a big chunk down here that was completely missing, so a lot of this had to be rebuilt, and if I'm being honest, I'm pretty proud of the way it turned out. I mean, you know, I don't know that I could have got it much better considering the condition it was in. Yeah, a lot of hand sanding here to get these shapes correct, and I'm pretty happy with the way they came out, and cannot wait to get them back up, which has to happen here soon because we're expecting rain later tonight. And this piece covers up the actual weight pocket, so on the front of the building you can see the weights in those windows. So this piece really needs to go up pretty quickly, so we're going to get that one up there pretty quickly. Now, this is the piece I didn't quite get. There's two of these. This is the worst one. This one I didn't quite get back together, as you can see. It was pretty bad. I've put a lot of wood hardener on it. But the worst part about this piece was it was missing its bottom 8 inches, or 8 inches about, let's say. So I had to carve another piece of wood with a chisel to get it back to the correct profile. And I got to blend these two pieces together along with wood fill, all this other stuff. I suppose at some point this piece was so rotten here at the bottom that somebody had cut it off in the window and put just a block of wood there. I never noticed it until I started messing with the windows, but it'd be best to get the profile correct so it looks cohesive with the rest of the windows. And this is not going to be done this week. Luckily, the front of the building doesn't see nearly as much water as the back does, so I'm not so worried about these two being in, but this one for sure, because it's dead center. It'll get more water than anything else. So here's the bay of windows in question. It's in the larger master bedroom here. And if I open one of these windows up, you can see where that molding goes right here. And actually, if you look deeper down there, you guys might not be able to see in camera, but you can actually see the original tool markings on the stone front, because the entire front of the building is limestone. So that's exactly what all that is right there. So without further ado, guys, let me get my harness on and get some of this trim back up before we get some inclement weather. So let's do that, and I'll check in back with you guys when I got a bit of it up to show you guys. So let's do it. Okay, so I've got the pieces back up on the outside of the house. Unfortunately, it did start raining on me. Maybe you guys saw that a little bit in the time lapse. Some of the water started getting on the camera. No worries there, it is waterproof. But it did stop me from getting all the painting I wanted done and everything like that, which is unfortunate. And we have some stuff coming in, or some more storms coming in a bit later as well. So I guess I've reached my stopping point, which is unfortunate because not everything is completely caulked and together. However,
most of this wood didn't have any paint on it to begin with. It is a bit cleaner now, and once I get a few more dry days, I'll get back out there with my paintbrush and finish everything up. So what you're seeing right now is a little bit of drone footage. Essentially, you guys can see how everything's kind of laid out, and a little before and after of what the pieces started out as. So pretty exciting stuff. It's cool to be able to see something on the front come back together. I do have to say that all this wood filling stuff is not for the faint of heart. It is a lot of work. Very tedious, lots of sanding. As I said before, I sanded off a few of my fingertips, or not fingertips, but fingerprints. And it can get a little bit rough, but I think the results are worth it. It's really just cool to see something come back to life on the front. I can't wait to start working on the mansard, which hopefully should be relatively soon. At least I hope before winter, at least, so I can get that all figured out and worked out. But yeah, I mean, it's probably, at least this bay window right here is probably the best it's looked in, well, at least 20, 30 years, maybe longer, who knows? Who knows when's the last time somebody stripped this stuff down? But it's obviously seen a lot of abuse, so it'd be cool to, you know, see everything kind of put back together, and yeah, again, slowly getting there, right? Slowly getting there. So also I have these two pieces of trim to finish up. Obviously this one's in better shape than this one. You can see the patched part I put on here, and so I gotta finish all that up and get these two. These go on that bay window on the sides, and they're not completely done yet. And weather willing, I'll take some more of these guys off and hopefully finish the entire second floor. I have 2 more windows to go, and of course there is caulking and painting of the other 2 still to go as well. But they're both primed, and then I have to get them in that antique white color like the other windows. The sashes, I did have Bill, the window guy, come by, and so there will be sashes being made for that the front second floor, and the kitchen and the dining room as well. Those probably won't be in until around mid-December. But if I have all the exterior stuff done, I can paint the windows inside and install them, and it shouldn't be a problem. So that's what I'm hoping to do, is get all of those areas cleaned up on the outside. That way when I do get the new windows, I can do everything just at once, one fell swoop. So that's the plan there. But before I let you guys go for this week, I did want to take you guys back to my current place and show you a bit of my art. I know a few of you guys have asked, you know, I keep saying that I'm an artist, and so I guess it's probably finally time to show you guys some of the stuff that I made. Some of it when I was younger, and some of it, you know, a bit more recently. So, yeah, I'll share that with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hello everybody, and welcome to a place that is not my my house, or the house you know at least. This is my current place, or at least the storefront of my current place. If you watch some of Kim's videos, you might have seen this before. So yeah, I figured a few of you guys have asked what my art looks like. You know, you say you're an artist, well, show us. So I guess the time has come to show you guys. So let me walk you through, I guess, a few different pieces of my art, and the few different periods in my life where I made certain types of art. So yeah, let's get into it. So these are 2 pieces of mine that are actually stencil art. So essentially what that means, it's the same thing that, you know, like if it's stencil wallpaper or anything like that. Imagine that, but if you had multiple layers creating all the different colors. Of course, these are black and white. I did do ones that were full color. I did a lot of this. And actually, I have 2 really big examples. So don't mind my father's gym equipment, which is still being stored here at the moment. But you can see these, all this is one big stencil. So even all the things on his shirt. So if you can imagine the headache of trying to figure out which one of these colors lays down first and which ones come after and all the way built up. Yeah, don't try to imagine that. It'll give you a headache. It did definitely me when I was making it, probably 10 years ago. So that's a pretty big one there, and then I've got this guy hanging out on the wall right here. And so those are examples of some of my stencils, which is kind of like one of my older styles of stuff. I messed around a lot with doing characters like this. These are on old spray cans, and I also did lots of murals. These are kind of hard to see because they're so wrapped around the can, but I think you guys get the idea. And I started doing lots of murals with buddies kind of all over, especially in Germany, lots of them over there. I spent quite a bit of time over there, and kind of learned a lot from the European, I guess, styles of graffiti and mural art. And really still enjoy to this day going out and painting a mural with my buddies whenever they're in town or whenever I'm overseas. Because it's just a lot of fun. It's just hanging out, you know, maybe having a beer and, you know, putting on some music and just painting with some buddies. It's a really great feeling. And yeah, I actually miss being able to do this style. But I haven't really messed around with it too much recently. I've always been to model trains. I started making these guys. What are these tiny little dioramas of subway stations? That one is Chicago. Here we have London. If we'll decide to focus, there we go. This is Tokyo, and yes, I understand Tokyo would never be this dirty, but I always really did like the aesthetic of, you know, a little bit of dirt and grime. And the bottom down here, which would be quite a bit darker, is my New York section. This is darker because this would be the station, and this would be the tunnels. And so I like the idea of having all the tunnels. My camera's really having a hard time focus here, and it always is with miniatures like this. It's really hard to get it to focus on what you want it to focus on. There we go. So yeah, you can see a lot of the detail in there. And all these little lights and everything, they're all hardwired. And these aren't kits, so everybody's aware. These are all completely scratch built. So took the lid off of the Chicago one, and you can see how I've got them all wired up. This one's a really simple one. There's a Berlin one that I made, which is extremely complex, which is, you know, double the size of any of these out here. There we go. So yeah, these are some of the things I'm pretty proud of. I spent a lot of time working on these, and you know, making a little sign like this little sign here. Oops, wrong one. This little sign here, completely backlit and everything, and wiring up all the LEDs to make that sign light and have the correct station number on it, or printing out all the tiny little maps and putting little tourists in there so it looks like the tourists are looking at the map. Even painting some of the colorful figures in Japan that you see. You know, the kawaii girls. So I got my little kawaii girl right here. That's why she's got the blue hair and the pink jacket. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with these. Yeah, and they're something I'm pretty proud of. You know, again, I like a good challenge, and I felt like these challenged me. And of course, to go along with the train stations, you have to have some train cars as well. I do have some subway cars as well, but these are just passenger cars from Europe. They're 1/87th scale, or HO scale, if you do model railroading. And I hand painted all the little bits of graph. Now these I didn't build from scratch. These are just, you know, stock models that I weathered in the case of this one, and then painted some lettering on them, make them look pretty cool. I don't know, I've always kind of had these things hanging out, and I really enjoy the aesthetic of trains. And so part of the aesthetic is graffiti, and so I've always really liked that. Okay, into the most recent, I guess, development for me for art. And this is 5 years recent for me. I've been doing more realistic portraits in oil and acrylic. So yeah, let me show you guys some of these. Now again, these are something I'm more proud of because these are actually really difficult to do. Lighting's probably really terrible here, but this one actually has pop-outs. So you see there's dimension. This is actually on plywood that's cut out to have different shapes. More traditional stuff on wood. I do really like this girl quite a bit. I think she's really cool. Yeah, I think she's really nice, and I'm quite proud of that piece. Of course, quite small. When you don't have much storage, you tend to go pretty small. Back when I was doing the big stencils, like I had more storage. These are 2 acrylic pieces. These are actually former co-workers of mine when I worked in reality TV. So BMO and Clarence, if you guys are watching, I miss you guys. 2 other random pieces. You know, I just kind of paint what I feel I guess I'm in the mood for when I'm in the mood for something. This one kind of came out quite nice. Hard to... Never really had to shoot video of these things. Stills occasionally, but I think you guys get the gist. for me, I don't see the building as any different from what I just showed you guys. To me, it's all art. It's all a challenge. It's all a new way of rising above, right? Like it's, for instance, let's take my subway things. That was my little love letter to graffiti. It was my little love letter to murals and to decay and to transit and to trains. That was my love letter to that. The house for me is a piece of art, and the house for me is my love letter to my city. It's my love letter to architecture. It's my love letter to things that were built well. And it's a challenge, and it's awesome to take on a challenge like that. It's, you know, I feel very lucky to be able to do that. That I'm in a market that things are cheap enough and that I have built enough skill up that I can actually do this. You know, it's remarkable. And I understand a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and it's not lost on me that. But everything to me about this building is art. It's not a construction project so much. Of course it is a construction project, but I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. I took on this building because I loved this building. I took on those paintings and those projects because I loved that image and I wanted to recreate it, or I wanted to create something new, or I wanted to, you know, just do something unique and fun and challenging. And I think a lot of the time, sometimes, and these aren't negative comments, they're just comments I get like, oh, you'll need a team and this is gonna take you so long. And of course the building's gonna take me a long time. It's a lot of building to work on. But I don't think I see it like a lot of people see it. I think a lot of people see a project like this house as something that's going to take them so long and they're going to have to give so much time to it. And I don't want to give my time to that. You know, it's not like that for me. I enjoy the process. I really enjoy making something of this. I enjoy finding out what little things make the building work, what the engineers of the days did, and how it goes back together, and rewinding the clock. I find that so fascinating. And I think that's why I'm well built to take on a challenge like this, and that I don't care necessarily that there's a lot of time involved. It's something that's kind of built into me, you know, like I'll take the time, I have the patience. You know, it's just about getting there and doing it right and having a good time while you're doing it. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that. It's you know, a little deeper look, I guess, into my psyche and who I am as a creator, as an artist, and yeah, kind of why I enjoy the project that's at hand, which is this wonderful house. So hopefully that inspires some confidence in the fact that I am, you know, somewhat capable. I think of myself as somewhat capable. Never a master, but you know, a little above apprentice, let's say. Competent. I am competent. All right, guys. So that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this project. Hope you guys enjoyed what I got done and the little sneak peek at my art. Yeah. So have a wonderful rest of you guys this week, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.